Hello, I'm Asaf Valizada. Today I will evaluate how choice architecture as a behavioral design tool influenced voter participation in Saskatchewan. So my focus is on how election Saskatchewan, which is a key institution in democratic process, can structure choices to make voting more accessible, intuitive, and habitual. So this analysis is grounded in behavioral science theories and evaluates both recent reforms and remaining gaps in voter engagement strategy. Let's begin with the problem. In 2023 provincial election, Saskatchewan's turnout was around 52. It's the lowest in decades. And in response, Election Saskatchewan introduced a new choice architecture in 2024 election, such as full voting week, on-site registration, and homebound voting options. And what was the result? The turnout rose slightly to around 56, a marginal gain suggesting progress, but also that the key behavioral barriers remain. From a policy lens, this is a design issue. So, how do we make civic participation the default behavior, not the expectation? So, to understand this, we turn to behavioral science foundation of the course. So policy isn't made in a lab; it's made in real world system, and where people use mental shortcuts. As taught by Kahneman, people rely on two systems. System one is fast, intuitive, and emotional, and system two is slow, deliberate, and logical. Most voting related decisions, like updating registration or choosing to vote, happen in System 1, meaning people are heavily influenced by defaults, presentation, and friction. This is why choice architecture matters. It targets how humans actually make decisions, not how we should make them in theory. Let's apply status quo bias, our tendency to stick with the default. In Saskatchewan, voters must actively register or update their info, which introduce friction. So, even though Election Saskatchewan piloted in place registration during voting week in 2024, many people didn't know about it or assumed it was complicated. And countries with automatic voter registration, like Sweden, consistently see high turnout. So the policy insight is that when registration is a default, voting becomes a continuation, not a separate action. Election Saskatchewan can pre-fill voter data using information from health cards or tax fillings and request confirmation, not just initiation. The same information. So the next one is the framing effects. And the same information, when framed differently, can produce radically different decisions. In 2024, the election Saskatchewan still used bureaucratic phrasing in voter communications. Failure to update your registration may result in your ineligibility. Compare that to a behaviorally framed message like over 70% of your neighbors are registered and confirm your information today, and it only takes 2 minutes. So this activates social norms, is game framed, and reduce cognitive effort. And the behavioral takeaway is that how choices are communicated is just as important as the choice themselves. So the slugs refer to unnecessary friction, complex paperwork, long instruction, or confusing websites. Even minor irritants can deter action, especially among first-time voters or those with lower digital literacy. To Election Saskatchewan's credit, voting week, homebound voting, and mail in ballots reduced physical sludge, but digital sludge remains. So, the navigating the Election Saskatchewan website for polling info is not initiative. So nudges, in contrast, that help people take action for instance, like the text reminders, simple visually clear water cards, QR codes to polling station maps, sector. So the election Saskatchewan should audit for sludge and replace it with timely nudges. Now let's connect this to a model we studied, the EAST framework from the behavioral insights teams. So make voting easy, autofill forms, plain language, attractive visuals, clear CTAs, social, show that others vote, and timely, send nudges close to deadlines. So the voting week initiatives align with timely. Now the focus should shift to making the process easy and social, especially through voter messaging and default options. So it's here's my recommendations. Four ways Election Saskatchewan can improve its choice architecture. First, automatic registration defaults based on government data sets reduce friction. And second, behaviorally framed notices and highlight norms, simplicity, and urgency. And third is digital notes, text or email reminders before voting week. And targeted sludge reduction, like simplify water tools, especially for YOS and remote communities. So each recommendations align with behavioral science principles and address gaps in 2024 election. So as a conclusion, choice architecture is more than a design tool and it's a way to translate democratic rights into daily routines. Elections, Saskatchewan made a real progress in 2024, but there is more to do. By aligning with the behavioral science, status quo bias, framing, and friction removal, we can make voting an easy, habitual choice, not burdensome decisions. And thank you for time.